I've often used the expression from the bottom up, and a lot of people don't really understand what is meant by that. So I'm gonna try to explain it to you because this show that we're having is kind of mirrors what can happen when you do things from the bottom up. And what from the bottom up means is that in order to uh, kind of deal with something, you got to go down to the source. You can't be outside. You got to come in the room. You got to get inside the jar in order to understand what's in it. So we're going to have a conversation today about a perfect example of what can happen when one pursues an issue or an initiative from the bottom up. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm your host, Alex Havisham. I didn't even have to tell George Crawley to do that. He's got a good memory. He's well trained.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate that. I've already given away his name.
Yes, sir.
But we are interviewing today Mr. George Crawley of the Westside United neighborhood. And if that's wrong, he will correct me.
Yes, sir.
And what George is doing, along with a lot of other folks, LJ just left, and a lot of other people are involved in this, but they have decided to address issues and problems in the community, particularly on the West Side. Of course, it encompasses, in many instances, the whole community. They are using from the bottom up approach.
Sure. Yes, sir.
And then what that means, I'm not going to really try to explain what it means. But like I said, we've got Mr. George Crawley. So, George?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, just tell people who you are and what your position is and what you do. And then you can move right into, I don't have to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
You can move right into those initiatives and the concept and the successes and the results.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That can be achieved from approaching things from the bottom up.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is George D. Crawley, and some people call me on Facebook Daniel George, but my name is George Crawley Jr. We started about a year and a half ago a group called Westside Neighbors United. We are a registered 501c3 Dun & Bradstreet organization. Primarily, our focus is around the area where Havisham Records used to be, but what still is Havisham Records on the west side. We include Unionville, Napier Heights, Bartlett Crossing, Cherokee Heights, Radio Park, Azalea Park, Hillcrest Heights, I did say Cherokee Heights, Bartlett Crossing Subdivision, as well as a couple of other groups, Glorious Heights, Unionville, and other groups all the way over to Eisenhower Parkway. So we encompass the area from 75 to Etna Place, Eisenhower Parkway to Roth Home Avenue. And what we do is we focus on community issues. We try to help establish neighborhoods. We try to partner with neighborhood organizations and groups that are there. We start off as a blight remediation organization trying to clean up the neighborhood. And now we have we deal with issues of violence. We're dealing with the blight still, the litter. We're also dealing with the issue of all the convenience stores with the gaming machines. So they call them coin-operated amusement machines, and the number of those and convenience stores in our community. And one of the biggest things we're dealing with is the issue of food sustainability across Macon. Right now in our area, we have a shortage of food, of fresh groceries in our community. So we're trying to work with other organizations such as Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization to try to locate a grocery store in our community, hopefully right there at the former Kroger store.
Oh, that's very, very outstanding. So who else is kind of involved in what? Now let's go to this.
Yes, sir.
Food insecurity.
Yes, sir.
And not only as it relates, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Not only as it relates to where you can go and buy food.
Right.
Also, it relates when you don't have any food and no money to buy it.
Right.
I think that's a real thing in some of the areas too.
It is a real thing, and the thing is, and it directly correlates to the issues of violence in our community. It directly correlates to the issue of access and the blight. All those things are issues of poverty, and without us having a convenience store, fresh foods, fresh vegetables, somewhere to pick up groceries from, any day that I need a apple or a banana or just a quart of milk. If I want to pay if I want to pay $4 for a quart of milk, I can go to the convenience store. But if I want fresh fruits or fresh vegetables or fresh meats, I have to go all the way out to Eisenhower Parkway, way over to Eisenhower Parkway, or down to possibly down to North Park. So it's not anything within a mile and a half, 2 or 3 miles, conveniently for the neighborhood to access food. And it also has the same issue with the litter and the blight. Think about a child, a typical child. You grow up, you go to school, and go to school, you ride your bus, and you see neighborhoods where there is access, where the streets are clean, the houses are kept up. And when you need to run, you hear teachers say, well, I just run down to the store and I get something from the store. You don't have ability to do that. You don't have the ability to access any after school programs. You don't have access to a clean street. The homes look like no one cares. And then on top of that, you're hungry. You can't get food. So what do you think you're going to do? You're angry. And that's what's wrong. You want to talk about what's wrong with our kids. We've had 13 or more years of divestment from the communities of West Macon, and it's caused what we have today. You have a whole generation of kids who have been lacking for services.
So what I'm hearing you, and I'm glad you brought that subject up.
Yes, sir.
Because oftentimes, we hear about the homicides and all the crimes and the assaults and things of that nature in our community. And we look at it, watch me now.
Yes, sir.
From the top down.
Right.
So when these things happen, and I'm not trying to justify them, but when they happen, then we look at it from the punishment perspective.
Right.
Well, I think the concept that you have just presented to me is that it has to be looked at from the cause perspective.
Right.
Though you've talked some about the contributing factors,
right,
to the crime and the despondency and the depression,
yes,
and the hunger and the lack of resources. Just what kind of influences do you think that these are having on these young persons? And you can be specifically talk about crime. Are they connected? Are they interrelated?
Well, I think I think they are interrelated, but not in the ways that we think. And most times we think that because the kids don't have something, they instantly gravitate towards the gang. Some are gang members, some are not. But most of the issues that they're having are interpersonal issues where you stepped on my shoes, you're going with my girlfriend broke up with me. That was my $5, or you owe me $10. All very things that you and I would probably have a conversation over, argue over, settle right there. These kids do not have those complex those conflict resolution skills, and they're just pulling out a gun and saying, I'll shoot you. And you don't realize that has a long-term consequence, not only for yourself, but you're killing a person, and it's affecting multiple families. It's affecting the community. There's not anyone holding the parents responsible, and there's no one holding the children responsible, but it's also no one seems to care to hold them responsible. No one's working with the kids. We have kids, when they come home from school, there's no television really to watch at home, so they're on their phones. If they're not on their phones, well, even if they're in school right now, they're on the streets. And so the streets become their playground. They can't get an after school program. They are dismissed from school because they're dismissed from the bus because they have a behavior issue. So the question becomes, who's going to help pull all those things together? There's so much going, it's a lot. And so with Westside Neighbors United, one of the things we're starting to do is we're starting to partner with other groups. We partner with Making Peace. We're partnering with Fathers Amongst Men. We're partnering with Greenwood Bottom Heritage District. We're partnering with Shalandra Parker, who has a lot of good, strong ideas to help us to create the little smaller educational pies. We're also partnering with Unionville Recreation Center so that we can provide activities. One of the things that Stop the Violence Rally does and the neighborhood cleanups do, that gives everyone the opportunity to participate. And giving everyone an opportunity to participate gives them empowerment. So when they get there, you might get something to eat. When you get there, you might get a HIV test or a COVID test. You might get a bag of groceries. You might come to the Stop the Violence rally and you get pertinent information to help you with your child in school. That's the goal of the rallies and the resource fair. It's not just about what the end result is, the violence, but the beginning is to actually build community, to build those networks, to build those extensions and relationships that we enjoy as a family unit. You know, a lot of these kids don't have that sense of community right now.
Yeah, that's very true. So what about some of the latest initiatives specifically in which Westside Neighbors United?
Yes, sir. Westside Neighbors United.
Westside Neighbors United.
Yes, sir.
And then before I forget it, now it is a certified and qualified 501c3 organization.
Yes, sir, we are. Yes, sir, we are.
You know, because somebody may want to donate.
Yes, sir. We are a 501c3 organization. We became 501c3 around October, November. We received our paperwork.
Yeah. That's us. Well, since we're on that and since we're talking about somebody giving, is there an address or is there a method that somebody?
Yeah, you could.
Thought I wouldn't ask, didn't you?
I know. I forgot to write down our new PO box. We just received it. Give me a call. I'm sorry to give my personal number, 470-217-6522, and we can further work on that. But what I'll do is on our Facebook page tonight, I'll post our address and other information.
Okay, what's your Facebook page? That's a good thing.
Westside Neighbors United.
Westside Neighbors United.
Yes, sir.
Facebook page, and then you'll have the address there so you can donate to the organization if you wish. Yes, I would hope that after this you do a GoFundMe page because what you're doing is very, very important. Yes, so, George, what are your feelings about where you are now and about where you want to go and about, I'm asking you a lot in one question, and the kind of resources that you need to make a measurable and identifiable improvement. I strongly believe, man, in the bottoms up approach. I mean, it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Yes, sir.
If it's going to make a difference. So, where are you now? Where you going? And what kind of assistance do you need?
The things we're focusing on, two things we're focusing on out of 5. The 2 that I'm going to talk about today are trash and our children. We need to focus on picking up the trash around the neighborhood. Before we can have true investment in our community, we really do need to pick up the blight and figure out what we're going to do about the blight. So what we're doing is we're focusing on 2 areas, one of those being Pansy Avenue and the other one being the area around Hillcrest Park. We met as our executive committee, and we've met with, in terms of Unionville, we've met with Sheriff Davis, and we've also met with the incoming commissioner. And we're meeting soon with some other entities so that we can focus on Pansy Avenue and Poppy Avenue and the area around the M&M grocery store. We've been having our rallies at that location, but we realize that's not the only location we want to focus. We're going to focus there this upcoming year, 2021, and we're also going to focus on the area around Hillcrest Park. Hillcrest Park is it was a beautiful park. It was utilized. We had used to have Little League baseball games, basketball tournaments. You could come up there any day of the week and it would be crowded full of kids and activities. we want that we want to reimagine Hillcrest Park and those streets that connect to it, Roy Street and Hawkins Avenue. So we've talked with Fathers Amongst Men, the Brothers Five, and Equality. Equality with Carl Byers, Fred, and Derek James, and a couple of other persons. And we're going to try to focus in on that area there, on that side. Those are two of the things we're going to focus on. The biggest thing we need right now are donations, of course, and volunteers. We always could use volunteers to help us out with the rallies, with the neighborhood cleanup, providing resources, particularly with the Fathers Amongst Men program. We're going to teach the kids to build we're going to build chicken coops, dog houses, and now we have another partnership where they're going to have an opportunity to build some other items also. But every weekend, like for this month, for instance, we take the kids out with Fathers Amongst Men. They take up Carl Myers and Mr. Fred. They take them out to neighborhood projects, cleanup projects, food giveaways. They work, they learn the process and the importance of civic engagement. And then afterwards, we have food, and then we have a good game of flag football or something like that. We're going to continue that through the holidays. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to continue to partner with Naomi Roseanne and working on the food initiative to locate a grocery store in that former Kroger building. So those are three things that we're working on. But the main thing that we need are volunteers, dedicated volunteers to help clean up. We need people to get involved and help to organize in their own neighborhoods and their own communities. And we need people to donate.
Yeah, that's very, very outstanding. So talk a little bit more about Fathers Amongst Men. Yes, I've heard some pretty good things. Matter of fact, I talked with Fred this morning.
Yes, sir. He's your frat brother.
Yeah. And he's going to familiarize me more with what they're doing. So just give them another shout out and talk a little bit about who they are and what they're trying to accomplish.
I'm gonna try my best to. So you have 5 African-American brothers who came together to form a network of nonprofits, and you have creative. Oh my gosh, I can't remember all of them. But you have Derek James, you have Fred, and you have Carl, and then you have 2 other gentlemen. They began, I think, during the summer, doing the food distribution every Thursday at Central City Park. They'll be giving out food. They have a lot of other activities, but their main focus is working with those young men. And they have a couple of initiatives with the young men. They provide after-school care for the young men. They give them activities that they participate in. They also teach them. We have some working with some of the teachers. They sort of work with the teachers and finding out what the issues are. Some of the kids have mentorship. And then they are also teaching the kids how to do woodworking, carpentry, cabinet making. So the kids right now, what Westside is partnering with them to do is create what we look forward to doing in 2021, taking wood pallets and making dog houses and chicken coops. And I know everyone's saying chicken coops. Well, we have a lot of people who are moving here to West Macon and other parts of this community who are who have chicken coops. And us building the chicken coops is a very ingenious way to help them manage their chickens. I was down in Bloomfield on yesterday, and we had a set of roosters that were crossing the road.
Westside Neighbors United doing some phenomenal things, and I want to repeat, because now you have that information, I want to repeat how a person can donate to this organization.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes, you want to give, but you're not sure, how effective or how much of a difference your gift is making. But there's you're too young to remember this, young man, but there's a saying that says, the proof is in the pudding.
Oh, you know?
So I think that based on the kind of success that you're having,
thank you, sir.
And that's where the proof is. So what's that a mailing address in the event that someone wants to donate?
Yes, sir. It's Westside Neighbors United Incorporated at P.O. Box 14461. 14461, Macon, Georgia, 31203.
Okay, Westside Neighbors United, P.O. Box 14461, Macon, Georgia, 31202. Did you say 02?
03.
03, 31203. Very good. And we'll scroll that across the screen.
Yes, sir.
George, I kind of raised my brow when you mentioned trash.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I think that too often we don't recognize or realize. And the reason I said that is because if somebody really wants to help and if they want to find out, you know, how they can really help and how they can volunteer, if they've got some kind of machinery or a tractor or a pickup truck.
There you go. There you go. We need those.
Landscaping business.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk a little bit more about the trash, you know, and the effects of it and how somebody can help, you know. And I understand, you know, I mean, if you look at blight all day, you feel blightful. You might think that you're blight.
Right. You don't think you feel like you don't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what, you know, some of the kids feel like. They're like, well, my neighbor, no one cares because it's trash everywhere. No one cares because I can't eat at night. No one cares because I go to bed hungry. And so with the trash and with focusing on the trash and the children with the food, we have neighborhood cleanups. Not only do we partner with Fathers Once Men, we've partnered with Making Bibb, Keep Making Bibb Clean Commission, who provides us with dumpsters, but we still need help. We need help with things such as blowers. We need more people with landscape equipment, because sometimes we have, if you could drive down Napier Avenue, drive down Napier past the Habersham house, even the house next door, all these houses are blighted and no one's taking care of them. No one's managing the properties. We did have the sheriff's office helping us somewhat. They would come in and clean the spaces off, but right now we don't have anyone but us. And sometimes it's only 2 or 3 of us, but we do need saws and and I know it's clippers and cutters. We try to do the second weekend of every month. We try to go out and clean up an area somewhere along the west side, either Unionville or Bartlett Crossing or Cherry, Napier Heights, somewhere along in there. We've also partnered with the the Napier Heights Food Co-op. They've usually cleaned up closer to Mercer. But on the next cleanup, we will be focusing on Montpelier Avenue. We'll focus on the area around Freedom Park, and we'll also focus on some parts of that Napier Avenue corridor as well.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking that there might be some organization, fraternities, sororities, social and savings clubs, community organization, neighborhood organization, mentoring organization.
Yes.
There might just be some organizations who are looking for worthwhile initiatives like what you have going on in WNU, who may want to help.
Yes, sir.
May want to help. So what would that process be?
Well, for King Holiday Weekend, we are trying to organize groups together. So right now, I'm the chairperson for the neighborhood cleanups. So give me a call and we can get to working. We can get to planning. My number is 470-217-6522. That's 470-217-6522. Within the next couple of weeks before January, we'll set up an event page for it. It will be set up on Facebook as well as registering on Eventbrite. We'll also look for donations because of course we want to make sure we have food for the people when they finish cleaning up. So we usually do a cookout at the end and probably a rally as well. Yeah,
that's very, very outstanding. And I really want to congratulate you, man, on what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure it's going to make a difference. I think sometimes, like I said, if we try to find the core,
yes, sir,
of the problem or problems,
yes,
then sir, that will help all of us. And then the other thing that I think,
yes, sir,
that we need to emphasize, and you can take a minute to talk about this, because I don't live in Unionville, doesn't mean it does not affect me. If you might not be on Montpelier Avenue, I mean, because you are a citizen of Bibb County and make a bill,
Right.
then it affects you because the kind of image that
Right.
the entire city projects,
Right.
you know, plays a role in industries coming, people
Right.
moving to town, grocery stores being built,
Right.
and of that nature. So just talk a little bit about not just a Westside problem, it's a community problem.
It's a community problem. And I've spoken to the incoming commissioners and to the incoming mayor about some of these issues. One of the things, first of all, membership with Westside Neighbors, I forgot to say that, is $25 a year. I'm sorry, $25 a year for individuals, $50 for families. And remember, you do not have to live in the Westside to be a member. You have to be concerned about the Westside, but you do not have to live in the Westside. We have people who come to our meetings who live in Bellevue. We have come to people who are officers who live in North Macon. We actually have people who live in other cities that come in to help us on Saturdays for our cleanup. What it is a commitment to Macon and making Macon look like the community we want it to look like. Making and putting personal investment into making our neighborhoods great. There's nothing wrong with the community. There's nothing wrong with getting involved. And it does affect everyone. One thing we have to realize is if we raise Johnny up and we don't raise Johnny up and give him access to the things he needs, he's going to find some way to get access to the things he wants. And Johnny may not stay where we are. Johnny may go out to other places that have been built up really nice and seek out things. So we want to train our kids and our youth and our adults to not only be civically responsible, but also be personally responsible. So we look forward to more people participating with the activities we're doing. And like I said before, we are open to planning a big event for January. We want to do a day of service for King Day.
Oh, that's outstanding. Well, let me congratulate you, young man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For all that you're doing, and what you're doing mirrors my concept as it relates from the bottom up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I've seen how effective it is and the kind of results
yes, sir.
You are getting from all of these initiatives. I want to encourage everybody.
Thank you.
To help one way. It takes a village.
Yes, sir.
A rising tide raises the whole ship.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to ask the entire community to find a way. Even if you send them $10, you still got that P.O. box, George?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That P.O. box is P.O. Box 14461, Macon, Georgia, 31203.
Westside
Neighbors United Incorporated. I'm real proud of that, Incorporated.
Yeah, I know you are. 501c3 too.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. We're 501.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Mr. Daniel George Crawley.
That's okay.
Who's the founder of the Westside Neighbors United. I just want to seriously tell you, young man, keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
You're making a difference.
Thank you.
Continue to make a difference, and it's measurable. And I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of support from the community, because this is a great community, and we got a lot of conscientious citizens who would like to help you.
Want more than to come on in.
Endeavor. Have a great day.